Punctuality matters.
Oh, yeah. Good morning.
Good
And
morning.
a warm welcome once again to each and every participant of Empowering Morning Conversations. A very warm welcome to all those who are watching us on YouTube too. So on this fine Sunday morning, let me very quickly remind you that the Empowering Morning Conversations have a purpose. And what's the purpose of Empowering Morning Conversations? Empowering Morning Conversations eventually want you and want us all to have a life that comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. And to make sure that the life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory, what are we doing over here? We are shifting from our survival mode, that is the default mode, to the create mode. We are dissipating all the negativity that we pick up all the time from other people and from circumstances. We are becoming possibility seekers rather than complainers. So in life, you might have noticed we are reacting and resisting. And when you do that, you don't see possibilities. So instead of being a complainer, we say, how about becoming a possibility seeker? And we are learning how to increase our focus and our energy. These are qualities required to be successful and to fulfill every desire you have. Now, it doesn't matter what desire you have, whether it's a material desire or it is a desire for happiness or great relationships, whatever it might be. If you stay in your default mode and if you stay always being influenced and controlled by the circumstances and the people in your life, then you cannot create life. Then you can only have what life allows you to have. तो अगर आप जीवन में प्रतिक्रिया और प्रतिरोध ही करते रहोगे तो आपको संभावनाएं नजर नहीं आएंगी और आप सारा समय दूसरे लोगों से या परिस्थितियों से प्रभावित होकर जीवन जियोगे. If you create your life, अगर आप अपने लाइफ का निर्माण करेंगे, then you can have a life that you choose to have. So that's what the purpose of Empowering Morning Conversations is. A lot of people ask me why every morning? Every morning because like you have a bath every morning, we come here every morning so that each morning we give ourselves a boost. It doesn't matter what mood you get up with. It doesn't matter with what thoughts you get up with. It does not matter what challenges you wake up with. We will get the boost that we need from this little community of ours. We will radiate positivity. We will radiate possibility. We will radiate joy. That's what the purpose is. So having said that, it's my great pleasure to introduce our silent, very humble adventurer. Very recently in our Rotary Club in Mumbai, we had invited one gentleman who takes people on the Himalayan base camp. So he's been an Indian Army officer from the Special Forces. So he gave a very detailed account of what it takes to go on a Everest base camp expedition. Very interesting, very challenging. And after listening to that, I said, my God, Rama has done that twice. What an amazing man. And this amazing man is going to talk to you this morning. So let's give a very warm welcome to our friend. Everybody knows him, Rama Zen. Over to you, Rama.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good morning. So today, I've been thinking of talking about comparison. I think sir already talked multiple times and we delved into it, but I thought it's one more time we could get into that a little bit more. So the question is, what is the value of comparison? So is there any value in comparison?
Comparison between what to what, sir?
Anything. Typically, we compare ourselves with others, right? Typically. Yeah, there are technical comparisons, but we are talking about comparing ourselves with others.
Yeah. In my opinion, we all are unique, so there's no point in comparing with others, because universe has given unique potential, unique identity, and unique way to contribute to this humanity. So we should, instead of comparing with others, I would prefer to compare myself with myself to see how can I further improve to become the best version of myself. And that way I would be happier to contribute to the humanity. That would be my take, sir.
Sure, that's the wish. But are we able to really stop comparing with others?
At least for me, I don't, but for
Okay.
others, I don't know.
Well, that's surprising and amazing. It's no, by nature, by our upbringing, by our society, it is a default mode. Comparison is the default mode for all of us. There is no exception. If you're not comparing, that is very unique, Kunal.
Yeah. Let's see. There are many raised hands, sir.
Right. Okay. No. I'm not really focusing on you, but I'm just saying that. Yeah. Thank you, Kunal. We will come back and talk about it. Yeah. Yes, Venkatesh ji.
According to me, man is always in the default mode, comparing whether he agrees or not, like anything. So it's great to always have that compared to people who are in lower status than us, like people. For my example, I say that when I ride an auto rickshaw or something, I always think these people, they manage joint families, they live with parents, they do so many things. Life is so difficult for them. They get up very early in the morning and strive. So you get a degree of compassion when you compare yourself with the other people, because man is born equal. Like means we all have 24 hours. We all have so many things like blood circulating in us. All these things are same. Whereas one man, by reason of his birth, is rich and another is not. So generally, in that way, I feel it is good to compare with not with the richer than us people who are blessed. Like it is always be thankful to God that we are in a better position than many who are striving hard the entire day, making it very difficult and all. So it gives me a pleasant thought to help out and all, so that we do something good for the society. Like, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So basically, Kunal said there is no value in comparison, which I also agree. But whereas you are saying that there is some value in our comparison. So what's the value you see in comparison, Venkatesh ji?
Value in comparison is being thankful to what all we have, like what all we have. That
Yeah,
comparison.
because we forget what we have.
We always have a bias. If someone we think that he is not good, but he is getting a lot of things, like people play games in management, other things to reach top, other things and all. So in such cases, the comparison makes us bitter, like he is doing it though he is not deserving. So actually, in these things, if you think, we may always have a state of mind saying that this is not work out, or this will not work out in the long run. Like there was a lesson like God sees the truth but waits. So the thing is, you always have, whether you comparison, I don't think one has to have a lot of what you call as control over his mind, not to compare. Means comparison, I believe, is a nature like immediately it comes out. You compare, though you may not agree sometimes, but something you are talking about in a certain situation, if you are there, you are talking about in comparison to something like. If you say make a certain statement, that statement is always having in comparison to what? My statement, other people's statement, that is like in comparison to the statement, like the level of our health, the level of our wealth. So in such things, comparison, I think, happens.
Yeah, it happens, but what value do we add to that is the question mark, because if you give too much value, it can invariably lead to negativities.
Yes, invariably lead to negativities, because you are looking, you are in what you call as you are in the center of a staircase where there is a small square piece. There is many steps up and many steps down. So where you are standing and you are comparing, if you look down and whatever you have achieved, you may feel happy to climb the stairs. Means like this thing is comparison with people lesser than you is always good for health, and comparison looking at the top also is very helpful to you if you have that acumen to achieve. Like he has done it, why not me? I'll also do it.
Right, that's the positive comparison, both down and up, but both can be negative as well. When you look down, oh, see, I've come up so much, these people are not. So you may feel superiority complex, or by looking up, you may see, oh, that guy achieved without even having sufficient skills or knowledge or whatever else it is. So it can go into that direction as well. Yeah, thank you. Yes, Shakti.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Yes, sir. I do compare a lot of times. When I'm in default mode, automatically by nature it will happen. But when I'm in creation mode, I will aware that I'm judging, and so I will avoid that. But when I do that time, most of the time, it will be with like a friend circle.
You're on mute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it will happen with a friend circle. Okay, when they are doing something is better, it's for me like, okay, they can do this way, so it's a learning for me. I can also go and do in this steps, something like that. But sometimes when they are doing some actions which I don't like, which I won't prefer, that I didn't see value out of it. If it is a close friend circle, I will go and convey, you are doing this one is wrong, do it in this way. It's like putting me in their shoes and then look into that aspect. And like sometimes I will convey, sometimes I won't convey. It will be with me.
But is that comparison when you are giving some suggestions or looking at from that point of view?
Yeah, if I'm in that position, I will do something like this.
Okay.
That kind of comparison.
Okay. So is that comparison or empathy or?
Definitely not empathy here.
Why? The way you describe, I thought it is empathy.
No, sir. It's sometimes only sometimes only I'm conveying it, right?
Okay.
Not always.
Okay.
If I have empathy, then I will go and only I'm doing it for my close friend circle. I'm limiting that.
Okay.
Not with everyone.
Right. But you are able to distinguish between when you are empathetic, when you are comparing.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
One thing I want to say, Shakti,
Yes, sir.
if you notice a friend of yours doing something which can be improved and you mention it to them, that's not a comparison. But if you tell someone that, hey, look at the way that fellow is doing, you are not doing as good as that person, that is a comparison, no? I just wanted to kind of point that out to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Still, I didn't get it, sir.
Oh,
So
really?
I'm comparing.
Okay, 1 minute. Let me tell you. See, yesterday, 4 of you did it, right?
Yes.
Now, if I said to Kunal, look at the way Shakti is doing it, she's doing better than you, that is comparison.
Yes. Yes.
But if I tell Kunain, okay, look, Kunain, you should listen to the participants before you respond. Now, that's not a comparison. It's a, feedback from a coach or a friend. As a friend, you can tell, no? Okay, yeah, blue shirt suits you better than a red shirt. Correct? That you have, like when I tell him many times, you have such a beautiful deep voice like a commentator. It's not a comparison, no. Though I'm saying like a commentator, it's not comparing in a negative or anything. I'm saying, oh, your voice also is as good as a commentator's voice, maybe better also. That is not comparison.
Okay.
You're getting the distinction between the two.
Yes, sir. No, I get it, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So Abhinavji, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. So see what I want to share is that I think comparison came from, I think, the British. I could not think of a Hindi word for comparison. Why? Because when we start comparing, see, comparison start the moment we are young. Imagine there are 4 children in the house, and the comparison, we start living in the world of comparisons, because or even if there is one child, the parents will start comparing that that child is uh, uh, scored more marks than you, that child is better than you. That child did not eat cashew nuts from the plate in front of the kids, and you dirty boy, you do that. So we create a world. So the parents in India starts creating a world of comparisons. I still, and then the comparison, and then so there is that comparison with other people, not only in terms of money, in terms of other things also. We miss out on, every situation has a certain excitement, has a certain charm. I remember, by the time my daughter was born, we had cars at home. Before that, for almost till the age of 28, I used to drive a scooter. And after that, I was financially at a level where I had a car. So I can say that I'm better off. But I remember once someone came to our house on a scooter, and I borrowed, my daughter was about 3 years old. So I borrowed a scooter and gave a ride to my daughter on the scooter. And she thoroughly enjoyed it. She said, Papa, we don't even have to start a AC. It already has a AC the moment you ride. So she was totally enjoying the scooter ride. And here, we are saying, a car is better than a scooter. And the moment I say riding in a car is better than a scooter, I'm missing out on all the joys of, of a scooter. Secondly, we have a common friend, even Sukhdeepak knows him, Vishal Talwar. His son is autistic, or something like being autistic. I don't know what is the issue, but though he's very loving, but he's not a normal child. So, and now he's almost same age as my daughter. So I think they have not taken him off the school now, and he's at home and he's enjoying, because now, so that child is actually enjoying. So in my eyes, that child is actually having a great time, and that child is a great child. He's so loving. But for many people, they will compare him to, "Arey, ye to bada bura hua, fir main aisa bachcha paida ho gaya." So they will take away all the joys from the child life also. So is going in a auto better than going in a taxi? Is going in a train worse than going by aircraft? Sitting in a first class is better than sitting in a economy class in an aircraft? Or having a salary of 10 lakhs rupees a month is better than having a salary of 50,000 a month? All the comparisons will take away all the joys of the moment from us. Even comparing, as he was mentioning, Punenji, comparing yourself with comparison. Oh, I think even that's not a great idea, because that moment will never come again. Right now, I'm with you, attending this session, and then what if I compare, but that session number 124 was much better. My experience of 124 was much better. Or, yesterday night I was much better, and today morning I'm not all that in great mood. I say even that comparison takes away all the joys. Yes, you have to work on yourself. That takes away all the joy. Maybe this moment it is possible to be 100 times better than the best moment I had ever had in my life. So I miss out on that possibility also. So I don't think comparison is such a great idea. And maybe the Britishers brought that comparison to our country. In Hindi, I can't even think of a word equivalent to comparison. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, thank you. So yeah, so basically you are completely, conveying and giving examples on. There is no value in comparison. Thank you. Yes, Kasha.
Luckily, there's never been a comparison, or my parents haven't compared for anything. Actually, my dad used to request, "Arey, try to pass your exams." Sorry. So, yeah, there have been instances that, at a point in time, few people used to compare, and we used to buy that when we are in default mode. But the moment we get aware, we say, "Oh, no, that is that, this is this." So, in that way, been very gifted. Yeah. Comparison makes someone feel contractive, when we are compassionate, that feels people expansive. So that allowance gives that expansiveness. So it gets better if we allow them the way they are. See, we can, every individual is unique by their self. See, what even parents or spouse or anybody, even the self, doesn't know what the potential that they can deliver unless they realize for what they've come. So that's what I feel.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, Kasha. That's a very good thing. That comparison is contractive, and Shakti said comparison is default mode. Yeah, that's so true.
No, one thing, right from my childhood, my dad, he used to say, you find out what is the purpose that you have come here. What is that special gift that you want to share with others? Look into yourself. So that's been one great gift to me.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ready, girl.
Just one moment. So
Yes.
for all those who don't know it, today's Kasha's birthday.
Yeah, yes.
So happy birthday from all of us once more, Kasha.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Kasha.
Happy birthday,
Thank you.
Kasha.
Thank you.
Good morning and happy birthday, Kasha. And you are so lucky you have a father like that, who has told you at the very initial age the purpose in life. Regarding the subject for today, comparison, I feel is good for in both aspects. If you take it in a positive way, it's good. Because sometimes you feel that comparison is good sometimes, because that give you a inclination to achieve better in life. So I feel that it has got both aspects of life, negative and positive, and nothing wrong in comparing. That's my take. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So yeah, comparison happens anyway. So, but yeah, there is some positive to that, and there is a lot of negative to that. But even that positive, we can generate much more positive if you are in non-comparative mode and the creative mode. So what is comparison? So first of all, we said it is contractive and the default mode. So how can it give us anything great? It may give some positivity, but that is not good enough or sufficient enough. So to give some definition, yes, Kasha.
No, rather than comparison, we can take that, when we take that as an inspiration, it works much better.
Yes, comparison also, the inspiration also comes from comparison. Yeah,
But
there is some positivity, but what is the end result is what we have to look at it. So comparison is defined like this by Brent Brown. Comparison is the crush of conformity from one side. Conformity, why? Because you are comparing with somebody else, which is a narrow path. That person defined and established something, and yet that is very narrow. There is no creativity in it, irrespective of how much ever great that person has achieved. When you compare with that person, you are fixing the parameters. So it is a conformity from one side and competition from the other side. So within that conformity, you want to compete and be better than him within that frame of reference. So you're not going out in the comparison mode, even though you want to become better than the other person, but that is within the limited parameters. So it's trying to simultaneously fit in and stand out. So there is no creativity in it. Comparison says, be like everyone else, but better. Right? So that is what is the comparison if you essentially look at it. Right? So the creativity is a question mark. If you are comparing, you may want to become like the other person. You may want to become like a Bill Gates. You may want to become like anybody else, but then that is also very limited. Right? So the other question is, what is the end result of comparison? So there is some positivity, there is some motivation, but at the end of it, if you really look at it, there is always negativity involved. The moment you more and more you compare, you will invariably get into, when you compare people below you, like Venkatesh ji said, you may feel better. Oh, I'm better than them. But slowly you will become, oh, okay, those are all useless guy. I know my ego is, your ego can be there and your superiority complex can come up, right? When you are looking up and comparing others, initially you may find inspiration, but later on you will say, oh, no, that guy is not good. He is using all the wrong methods to go to that place. He is not good enough, right? So that's what happens. But as we said, the comparison cannot be just stopped. It happens. Only thing what we have in our hand is, how do we be aware of it and let it not affect us? So that's what we should be looking at. So could we stop comparing? Social comparison happens to us. Our hardwiring makes us default to comparison. By default, we get into comparison. It seems to happen to us rather than be our choice. Sometimes we may choose to compare, but by default, the comparison happens. Even if you do not choose whether or not let that comparison affect our mood or self-perception. So that's where our awareness and choosing what to do happens. So the comparison may happen automatically, but it is our choice not to let it affect our mood or our self-perception or self-worth. So it always looks grass is greener in the other side. That is how the perception is. But if you go to the other side and see your own grass, that also looks greener. So looking at from the other side always looks greener. So that clarity has to come in, that perception has to come in. We can choose how we are going to let the comparison affect us. So by default, you don't be aware of it and you don't choose it. It can affect negatively, but we can choose to either ignore it or take it positively, or not be bothered about what comes up. So awareness is the key. We can also choose connection over comparison. So instead of comparing the other person and concluding something, judging something, we can always appreciate whatever that person is doing, whatever good or bad we are looking at. We can always connect with that person and become in empathetic mode rather than comparing, competing, and judging. Acknowledge the inevitable and make a conscious decision to wish others well. So even if there are comparison comes, you always try to wish them well rather than getting affected. Oh, that person is better than me, or that person is not good enough. So we can always wish them well. So that's what we could do when the comparison happens to us. Yes, Kunanji, any further thoughts?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. This reminds me, which Sukhdeepak sir always say, that if someone else can do, I can also do. So I am taking this comparison and this conversation from the inspirational perspective, motivating myself that if something else can be done by someone else, I can also do. So that will be my take on taking this word or the label, the word as comparison. But in general, in my opinion, we all are unique, and I have my own journey. Someone else has their own journey. So we should not get distracted by putting our energy in the comparison mode. Instead, I'll prefer to focus on self, and I'll focus how I can compare myself with yesterday is gone, not today. How can I be better than yesterday so that I can keep on improving myself, comparing with my previous days by getting the inspiration from someone who can do something better than me, so that if someone else can do, I can also do. That will be my take, sir. Thank you
Sure.
so much.
So only thing I wanted to point out is, like Abhinav said, even if I compare myself with myself, am I being in the present moment? So that's your favorite topic as well, right? When you compare yourself compared to the previous instance or previous time or previous activity, are you in the present moment?
Yes, definitely. If I am comparing myself with self, I am definitely aware, and I am conscious about my purpose. I am conscious about my journey, and I am clear about my intention and my objective.
Okay.
So, but as soon as I start comparing self with others, it gives a feeling that I am doing something wrong.
Yes, that I think all of us established that comparing with others is, even though it happens, it is not really ultimately leading us to anything productive or creative. That we all agreed. So now the question is comparing yourself.
I believe that it's important to compare with self with the intention of improving or becoming the better version.
Sure. So, but the point which Abhinav pointed out, that am I losing the current moment, enjoying the current moment, instead of enjoying the current moment or creating something in the current moment, am I getting stuck with comparing myself with the previous instances? So that's the point to reflect on, just to think about it.
Yes, sir. That's important. But when my intention is not to kill creativity by comparing myself with the self, definitely I'll be looking for more possibilities and more opportunities.
Right. So one is the creativity, the other one is living in the present moment.
True.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Kunal. Yes, Saurabhji.
Good morning, sir. Sir, what I am telling, if you are not comparing, then how to know what is your standard? What is your level? So this is not very good thing to compare with others, but obviously you have to compare with others because of what is your level. To level of, you should compare. That is my point of view. Then I pass on to you. Then you just focus on this, please.
Yeah, sure. So as we discussed, I think it is a default mode for all of us. Now, the thing is, you have taken that as the given thing and the real. Yes, sir.
I want to say something to Sahu.
Yes, sir, please.
See, if you want to evaluate your performance, there's nothing wrong with that. Try to understand the problem with comparison.
Got
Okay?
it, sir. Got it. Yeah.
See, comparisons can limit you. They may discourage you. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes.
It can encourage you also. I'm not denying that. See, suppose you see that there's this guy, he's exceptional person, he's doing something extraordinary. Instead of comparing, you say, comparing means what? Oh, he is very good, I am not as good as he is. Correct? वो बहुत अच्छा है, मैं अच्छा नहीं है.
Correct, sir. Correct, sir. Yes. Sometimes
If you
is
say,
good in particular point.
yeah, so if you say, oh, these are the good things I can pick up from that fellow, why don't I? You remember now, Kunen very nicely said, if anybody can do it, I can also do it. That is not a comparison. Comparison, I would say, technically would be when I look at someone, let's say I have a son and a daughter, okay? And I'm looking at the son and saying, you know, he's not as intelligent as my daughter, you know? And having a judgment about it. That kind of comparison, I think, if you look at it, if you are getting inspired by something great that somebody is doing, and what are the points which I will pick up, that comparison is an enabler, right? वो आपको उत्साह देती है.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
That is the point, you know, the Rama is making. Please understand.
Yeah, I got it, sir. I got just to show, sir. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, in life, the level you don't need to necessarily check it out. For example, I'm short, I'm thin, I'm fat. So you compare it, what is the use of it? See, the performance level is different, what you are talking about. Yes, sir.
I want to share this about myself. You know, as a child, as growing up in school, I was a little tubby, you know, like stout guy. And school, when we were in Madras, they used to call me Gunda. Gunda means fat. Okay. Even before, always fatty. So I was always comparing myself with those, you know, those very thin, they have the figure like Rama, let's say. My figure is like Kunen. Okay. That's comparison. So I was always saying, that is the correct figure to be. You know, one should have athletic body like so-and-so. So I was putting myself down. I was so ashamed of my legs, you know. Itne hairy legs. I was not wearing knicker to school. I would wear trousers. The rule said only after class 6th you can wear long pants. Okay? Because I was comparing. So when I'm comparing like that with others, my own uniqueness, I never saw that, no? I was only comparing in a negative way. So people who are very outgoing, they are all talking to everybody. And I was a very quiet fellow. I never used to talk to anyone. You know? And my parents were also saying, see, look at that fellow, your age. Eh? See how athletic he is. He's going to get into the army. You are a bloody lazy fellow. You know, you'll never get into the army. I was also doing the same with myself. Yeah, look at me. I'm such a fat fellow. I never talk to anyone. I'm a shy fellow. That comparison I was doing. And every time I did that, I was making myself smaller. Na? I mean, how come I never thought, yaar, that fellow is so athletic and he's doing so many activities. Let me also do it. What I was doing was, they can do it. I'm a useless fellow. I can't do it. And this went on till I went to college. I never used to talk to anyone. So you understand how that comparison thing was coming.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, Sarguji, the point I would like you to look at is comparison with respect to technical aspects, right? The product, some product you may want to compare, what is the quality, what is the price and all those things. But comparison with respect to the individual's life, even though it happens, does it have any value? Does it have any standing at all? Is it really helping you or is it really limiting you? Even though in our mind, we automatically establish saying that, yes, I need to necessarily compare with somebody else so that I can improve. But inherently, we have all the things for us to really showcase whatever we can and our capabilities without comparing. In fact, comparing limits your capabilities. So the life comparison does not help us. The objective comparison may help. That's different.
Agreed, sir. Agreed. Got it.
Right. So, so anybody else? Yes, Kunanji.
Just a quick thought coming to my mind when I'm thinking about self. Even our higher self only wants us to be at peace, be in the present, and use the energy and the focus in the best manner. A higher self doesn't demand us to defeat someone or to be better than anyone else, etc. So if we focus on self without any judgment, without any labeling, be at peace in the present moment, and keep on asking the questions that how can I become the better version of myself? That way, it will be useful to use the term comparison, in my opinion, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kunanji. So no, definitely that better version of ourselves is very useful. But how do we do it without limiting, without destroying the creativity, without going away from our present moment is what we need to look at, Kunanji. Yes. Yes, Vetri.
Good morning again, Ramaji. Amazing topic and great discussion. Since you started this comparison, first 30 minutes was a big chatter in my mind, putting all the points saying that comparison is good. How do you compare? Because when you say Tarasu, what are you doing? Comparison in other words, it's measurement, something or not. Now, after a slowly discussion with all the people and sir, everybody, now I'm getting a clarity. What clarity I'm getting is, if I understand who am I, what I do on a little spiritual side, I get answer. Who am I? I'm a traveler. What I do, I am exploring things. Where the comparison helps. If I go to Paris, all the things I compare with New York, I neither enjoy New York nor enjoy Paris. Go to kitchen, putting salt and sugar. Salt is this, sugar is this. If I all the time compare, I can't enjoy salt, neither sugar. So exploring is the opportunity in this life, and for that comparison doesn't help. And one more understanding I'm getting, if you're okay, I can just tell you that. My understanding is comparison is little against to inspiration. All the time, when we see something, if we are taking some motivation, going towards it, like Kunanji said, how to become a better version of ourselves, then it is inspiration. If we stop doing it, yes, that is this is that, then it is comparison. So all our purpose is to move from comparison to inspiration. Thank you, Ramaji. Amazing, inspirational topic.
Thank you, Vetri. Yes, Abhinav.
Yeah, so I will just repeat what Vetrival says. I think people get confused between comparison and inspiration. Like, I will give you one example from my own home. My father worked up to the age of 75. So I'm also inspired to work till the age of 75. That is what I made my mind. I'm 55 now. I'm going to work for 20 more years. But I'm not comparing myself with my father. I'm being inspired by my father. That's what I wanted to share. This distinction, actually, people at times even I forget that being comparison is distinct from. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so basically there is a positive comparison as well, like both of you said. So there is admiration, there is reverence, there is enjoyment of another success. So these are the positive comparisons, right? So if you take it to a level in a balanced way, it will give you inspiration. When you admire something, when you revere something, when you enjoy somebody else's success, it gives you inspiration, no doubt about it. But the same thing can also lead to negativity, saying that, oh, that person grew like that because I didn't have that kind of facility or that kind of opportunity, or that person grew because he was fraudulent or whatever it is. So even the positive comparison, while it can give you inspiration, it can also lead to negativity. So that leads to negative comparison. What are the typical negative comparisons? Envy, jealousy, resentment, and taking pleasure in others' suffering. So these are all some of the negative comparisons. So with this, can you see the difference between envy and jealousy? What's the difference? What is envy? What is jealousy?
Envy, where we kind of feel agitated. Oh, he's having, I'm not having.
Yes. Envy is the feeling you get when somebody else has something, but you don't have it. You want to
Yeah.
have it. So there are two types of envy, positive and negative. So can you say what it is? Or one is negative, another is either positive or just balanced.
Maybe if we admire that, oh wow, he's got that, wonderful. So maybe.
Yes, that's possible. Yeah, I don't have it. That person has it. Yeah, I wish him great. He really has. That's great. The negative comparison is that
Oh,
guy.
I'm not.
That guy has. I don't have it. I don't want him to have it. I want to put him down.
Yeah.
Rama, one example of negative comparison, I'm comparing father with her father.
I think some people didn't get it. You may have to repeat it.
Why didn't you say that you develop uniqueness?
Abhinavji, switch off the video. Your connection is not good. Can you repeat? Switch off the video and repeat. Yeah.
Oh, I was saying one example of, on a lighter note, I'm saying one example of negative comparison is now I'm comparing Kasa's father to my father.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And all the rest of the fathers in the world who really put their children down.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So envy can be.
And one example.
Yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to give an example from our history. Look at Mahabharata. All the 5 brothers had unique capabilities. Imagine someone telling Bhim, you should be like a Tirandaz like Arjuna, or people telling Arjuna, you should be a Tirandaz, or you should be a Tirandaz like, you should be a Gada, good with Gada like Bhima, and telling Yudhishthira, no, you should be a Tirandaz like Arjun, and or telling Arjun, no, you should have a knowledge of dharma like Yudhishthira. So that is what our history also teaches us, to develop our own, be present to the moment, develop our own uniqueness. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the same thing, this guy, what is it? Probably Duryodhana was having envy that these guys are having so much capabilities or whatever it is. So envy is something where other person has it, I don't have it, I want to have it, so that I can have it. I can appreciate the other person. Oh, that person has it, I also would like to have it. So that is okay. Or you may want to put that person down. But typically the envy goes into that negative direction. So that is envy. What about jealousy? What is jealousy?
Jealousy, I may add.
Yes, Major sir.
Jealousy means resentment or annoyance. I mean to also say that these two words are used usually interchangeably.
Yeah.
They're scarcely synonymous also, I can say. Envy might mean discontentment, and you wanted to, or you're longing for someone else's advantages, maybe looks, status, or attributes. Whereas jealousy means unpleasant suspicion or apprehension of rivalry. You long for something that is envious. You, in the bargain, there's some tinge of negativity taking place in jealousy.
Yeah.
Most common is when you're fearful of losing attention.
Yeah, fearful of losing what you have already.
The context involving emotional upheaval or emotional rivalry.
Yes.
And envy is used more broadly of resentful contemplation of a more fortunate person. That's it.
Okay. Right. Thank you, Major sir. Yes, Abhinavji.
Well, right from the time I was born, I never had this feeling of being envy and being jealous. And I thank my parents for it because they, and by the way, my father is still alive, thank God. They, right from the time I was born, I never saw my father or mother being envious of anyone or being jealous of anyone. So these are the two feelings I never had. I don't know what are those feelings.
Are you saying you don't have jealousy?
I don't have,
Wow.
never had.
What is jealousy?
So I don't know. I'm listening to you all.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's understand
I
what is
don't know.
jealousy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
always enjoy the success of others. Yeah, I
Yeah,
always
envy may
enjoy
be,
the success of others.
yeah. Yeah, go on. Yeah. So
Yeah,
you
so
think
I
that you
always
don't have
enjoy
both, yeah, you don't have both envy
Yeah,
and jealousy.
I don't have. I never had right from the time I was born. On a lighter note, I have a little bit now for Lalit Modi. You know how can he have that Sushmita Sen? That's it. On a
Exactly.
lighter note only. Yeah.
Not lighter note. Heavier note, you will have a lot more jealousy actually. And envy. It's only that it is unconscious. You think that you don't have.
Very not like others in the world that I see, but I don't have it. I actually enjoy the success of my friends and my relatives. Even if there is some good news coming from an enemy country like China or Pakistan, I actually enjoy that. And I don't say that why are they doing so well. I'm happy about it.
No, that's very good. But let's explore the definition a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit further and see whether you are unconsciously jealous.
yeah. Unconsciously, I'm jealous of Lalit Modi for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Vetri.
Just a quick word to Abhinav. Abhinav, you are not alone. We are all with you. Ramaji, from my understanding, envy and jealous both are same, synonyms only. In Tamil, correctly, it is called poramai, right?
Sorry, in Tamil, which one?
Poramai.
Poramai. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But for me, both are same word. We are talking, the comparison leads you to this envy and jealousy, but I don't see any distinction between both jealousy and.
But there is a difference. There is a difference. So
Okay,
envy is
I'll
where.
wait for it.
Yeah, envy is where you don't have what the other person has. You want to have it, either in a nice way or in a very negative way, by putting the other person down. Jealousy is on what you already have, but you have the fear of losing it. Typically, it is in relationship, or it can be in anything else as well. So just to showcase that, let me show this.
But is it not possessiveness?
Yes, jealousy is related to possessiveness.
Okay.
So envy occurs when we want something that another person has. There could be hostility involved in the negative way. Jealousy is when we fear losing a relationship or a valued part of relationship that we already have. We feel anger, sadness, and or fear. So Abhinav already has his wife, but he wants better. So that's the jealousy. So it is not that he doesn't have at all. So jealousy comes into the picture where you already have it, but you have the sadness that you don't have something better than this, or fear that you don't have, you may lose what you have already, or you are angry that I don't have sufficient. So that's jealousy. The core form of jealousy primarily involves threats to relationship rewards, including loss of a loved one's attention, affection, or resource to another. So the jealousy is involved with respect to the relationship or other resources. So you can evaluate, Abhinav, how much jealousy you have.
Ramaji, just to add on a lighter note, we are very serious about jealousy and envy. You are helping us to understand. There is a separate discussion is going on how much is Sushmita and his height and how to manage chat. Please be aware about chat also.
Okay, now I think it's time to stop here. Thank you very much, Rama.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure that you-
Can we listen
all
to
the
Priya
points.
before we conclude, sir?
What?
Priya wants to say something. Let's listen to her before.
Yeah,
we...
obviously.
Yes, Priya, please go on.
I just want to share something about the road. So this was just flat. So out of excitement, I wanted to show you that look. Can I?
No, you can't. First of all, we
No.
can't hear you. Do it tomorrow, please, because we don't have time now. Sorry, Abhinav, no more sharing, nothing. Not today.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful session, wonderful participation. I'm so happy. Okay, so now we have to have our shairi for the day very quickly. We've got just time for that. And first, Kunain and then Vetri's shairi, and then we'll close. So come on, Kunain. How about saying something about the jealousy? Urdu में क्या बोलते हैं jealousy को? Jalan.
All such negative words I don't use.
हाय, क्या बात.
I have never thought of, but I think hasad is.
Okay. Whatever.
तो शेर जो अर्ज किया जनाब के करते हैं मेरी खामियों का तज़किरा इस तरह, करते हैं मेरी खामियों का तज़किरा इस तरह, लोग अपने अमाल में फरिश्ते हों जैसे, लोग अपने अमाल में फरिश्ते हों जैसे, करते हैं मेरी खामियों का तज़किरा इस तरह.
Beautiful. People find fault with me as though that they are some sort of angels or, perfect people. Something similar to that, what you're saying.
Right, sir.
It cannot be said in the same way in English like you said it in Urdu. So great. Thank you so much. And now we will have some Tamil Shairi from our friend Vetrivel Shanmugam.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to continue from the yesterday's discussion. I want to add a quick word to all of our lovely friends. This goes this way in Tamil. Pallar pahaipalil patteduthu thீமைத்தே நல்லார் தொடர்கை விடல். Meaning, losing contact with good elders can do 10 times as much harm as seeking enmity with many. Meaning, if you don't lose the contacts of the elders in your life, which is equal to making so much of enemy. Just for a thought to ponder on the day. Thank you very much.
Losing one elder is equal to having 10 enemies. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Rama. Thank you, everybody, for your lovely contribution. Just know that every time you open your mouth and say something and you ask something, you're contributing to everybody who's here on this call and everybody who's going to be watching us on YouTube. So my request to everybody is please share this YouTube channel links with all your friends and request them to subscribe to us. That will be a small contribution to our effort. It will be great encouragement for what we are doing. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. See you tomorrow morning.
Thank you, sir.